Come on in. How you guys doing?
Hi, Jeff.
Going on?
Oh, we're just juggling, juggling tech as usual. Let a few more people come in. It says we're live. There we go. There we go. All right, I think I'm set here. How are we doing, everybody? Who's got a win today? Patric's going to be on in just a minute. He's managing some tech and logistical issues. Speak up if you have a win. Just join in.
I got 2 new SEO and 2 new trial clients this week. So
Big ticket?
The SEOs, yeah, it's $500 a month plus the build of the website. Both of those are about the same. And the others would be about, well, they're trial, but they're concrete, so they should work out pretty well, hopefully.
Are you already getting leads on those sites?
Yeah, they're just doing the trial leads now. So
How many are you getting?
I'm getting about 25 to 30 a month.
Oh, wow, that's good.
Yeah. No,
Are they good like work, or are they like sidewalk cracks, or?
No, these are ones
jobs
that count. Yeah, I mean, there's I get more calls than that. These are the legitimate leads. Otherwise, I just kind of toss them. Yeah. Yeah,
cool. Yeah, congratulations. That's a good, that sounds promising.
Yeah, I've had a couple people before on this site and they haven't worked out. So hopefully this one will.
Yeah, well, I've been down that road so many times.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. Usually by the third, it works, right? That's what I'm hoping. Actually, this last one was a referral. I was meeting with a SCORE counselor and we were talking about my work and she said, hey, I know some people in the area that, because I was talking about networking in another place. And she said, I know some people that do that. And she gave me their contact and it worked out. So.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, SCORE's a great organization.
Yeah.
Done some stuff with them. How you doing, Jarrett?
What's up, Jeff?
I saw you doing, taking some family time this week.
Oh, I don't know how much I'm taking care of family. I can tell you that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Been playing Mr. Mom for the last 2 weeks. My wife broke her ankle. So it's like,
oh man,
constant stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But staying busy though.
Yeah. Well, you usually have a win. What you got going on?
Oh man, I got a lot of stuff. Same thing, always having something to sell. Mainly lead gen, trying to stay away from SEO.
Yeah, for sure.
Building a bunch of stuff out. But honestly, I'm still kind of in that sell what I got stage, unless it's really like I'm getting to the point where I get a lot of referrals and stuff. So unless it's easy money, I'm not really building out anything for myself right now, unless I have like a paying client, because I got too much stuff on the plate that I need to do. But I had my best month last month. I'll probably have my best month this month. So
I noticed you've been pumping it up and really setting big goals for yourself. So
trying to really knock some stuff out and kill some of these other little things I have going on. But this takes time,
Are you building up your team? Like what's that look like?
So that's I have a couple VAs, right? I was actually talking to Patric earlier, just like about setting up the teams as far as like the processes of, because I have, I get 1,200 phone calls a month, right, through all the different lead gens. So there's a lot of leads that are just coming through that I'm not taking care of, just because there's just so many that I just can't answer all of. The phone rings, 50, 60 times a day. So like I'm trying to bring somebody on to be able to qualify leads. That way I can get those to certain contractors and try to focus on which ones need a little GMB help, which one needs a little, help to really solidify those solid numbers. So that way you're not sitting there trying to make commission deals. I'd almost rather just say, hey, take some leads. And then when you can get those solid numbers to where you can ask, $1,500 or $1,250 a month or $2,500 a month. Like, you know, go in like that, right? Instead of saying, okay, well, let's start at 5, which is okay. But I feel like now seeing all of the stuff, I feel like a lot of those lower numbers when you're dealing with somebody that's paying you $500 a month, they're more of a pain than somebody paying you $1,500 a month or $2,500.
Yeah, it takes the same work to make
Yeah.
100 or 2,500 for sure.
Yeah, and so it feels like they want more. Honestly, like the guy paying you $500 a month wants more. I don't know why.
Yeah, they're real business owners.
Yeah,
that's why.
You know,
I mean, it's the right ones are real business owners. That's for sure.
Right. The other ones just kind of like
go something like my win, I guess, for the week is. My win for the week is kind of related to that, is like taking calls. Like, so for my own assets, I still take some of the calls. And just yesterday morning, I got 2 calls, one right after the other. And I kind of like ballpark the value of those 2 calls were about $50,000 worth of business. So it's like, you know, you can do that. That's like magic, right? I mean, we're like magicians. So, you know, you pull those kinds of leads and then get a client based on those higher value leads. It's really powerful.
Right.
So that's good. You know, for Patric's agency, we have somebody who takes the calls for anything that we have that's just kind of in that kind of phase like you're describing. And for some clients that maybe they can't take the calls as effectively as we would like them to or whatever, we can always just put her on it. And that is like a game changer, just to be able to snap your fingers and have somebody taking those calls when they're coming in and qualifying them for whatever reason.
Right. I mean, I just fired one of my fencing lead gens guys, right? So, you know, so I turned the phones on to me and I sent 3 new leads to a fencing contractor today, but pre-qualified. I'm like, hey, this guy wants 300 foot of fence. You know, that's a $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 job. This person wants this wrought iron gates, you know, with motorized, whatever, another $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 job. So like today on a trial, she probably, you know, is going to go bid $10,000, $12,000 worth of work. But again, like I pre-qualified those. So it's so much easier to sit there and say, like, here's this information. But when you got so much other stuff going on, it gets a little overwhelming, you know?
Yeah, right on. Who else? Anybody else got any wins here while we're waiting for Patric? He could be on any minute. And I know he has some CRM updates and whatnot, but we're kind of juggling it here. Anybody else got anything? I'm having to juggle too. I'm on one screen instead of 3, so I don't know about Facebook. I gotta go over here and look at Facebook now. Leanne is saying in Facebook she's got wins for the week, found 2 potential clients who are willing to take leads. One will do certain ones and the other one will do the rest. And just got off the phone with a referral that wants to do a lead gen. So we'll be building that out for him most likely. It's been a while getting there. Congratulations, Leanne. That's awesome. And that's all I'm seeing. Where's the Zoom link? Tia, just go to leadgenerated.com.
I got some wins. I got some wins, Jeff. How's it going?
Yeah, what do you got?
Yeah, I closed 4 web builds today. Well, the last 3 days, so they're all kind of north of $1,500.
Wow.
So yeah, that's been pretty awesome. A couple of them were a bit of a long time in the making and kind of bringing people around onto things, but we got there in the end. And then I actually ended up with a client who, one of the web builds, I pitched him SEO. I don't really like doing SEO, but for the right money, I'll do it. He kind of came back and said, "Oh, look, I can't really afford it." I kind of pitched him the lead gen model, like a pre-sold lead gen. He didn't really get it, and then inadvertently, whenever he couldn't afford my SEO price, he came back to me and offered me like a revenue share and anything that was generated from SEO. So I kind of reworded and reframed the lead gen offer and kind of said that, you know, I need to take a little bit up front in order to make this work, and kind of used a couple of things that you and Patric had done a role play, and I kind of stole bits of that, and yeah, it worked a treat. And he ended up, like, you know, 2 weeks ago when I pitched him the offer, you know, pitched him at the first time, he wasn't really interested, he didn't really get it, and then kind of, you know, with a little bit of work and a bit of tweaking here and there, he was all for it.
Nice. You had to educate them. How did you get in conversations with those people? What was
So I actually I joined a lot of like dads groups on Facebook.
groups?
Yeah, like dad. Like,
Where are you located?
I'm in Ireland,
Right on.
but
These are
a
in-
lot of but a lot of the work I do is in actually in the US. So I kind of joined a lot of like dudes and dads groups and this type of thing, and it turned out that this guy was like put on this dads group that he had a bit of problem with his like HTML code, and he had this like really ancient website with this kind of code that I'd never seen before. He gave me access to it. I kind of found somebody who understood it a lot more than what I did, and they said, look, and for me to go and fix it, I'm gonna have to like strip it back. So I just came back to him and said, look, man, you know, for the time and the money it's going to take for you to put this up and to fix it, I think you're better off going for a brand new site. And yeah, he kind of went along with me.
Yeah, nice. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks very much.
About the dad groups, what was your kind of pitch? Did you just what did you say in the group?
It's just basically him commenting. Like I get a lot of ones from like people put up things saying, you know, hey dads, like what does everybody do? And you know, you get like 700 or 1,000 comments. You know, I'm a plumber, I'm a whatever. And then I put up, you know, small things like, you know, I help to connect, like people with businesses and, you know, the people that are actively seeking for your service. And I just try to put it into layman's terms, you know, as opposed to kind of hitting people with the real technical stuff. And it seems to work a lot better. I get a lot of messages from it, and people kind of asking me, you know, what it's all about. And they generally just tend to ask me for a lot of information, and then I kind of go from there.
Yeah, it gives you a good chance to educate them. That's awesome, man. I haven't thought about that method before. That's great. Yeah, I've just been going into the contractor groups themselves, and you know, other people who are asking about SEO or more business related groups.
Yeah,
you know,
I find a lot of
taking that approach.
I find a lot of contractor groups on like it's like marketing vultures. You know, somebody asks about a web build or whatever, and next thing there's like 100 comments and people like bombarding them, and they're like asking for money, and they're flat out like, you know, they're kind of like attacking them. And then ultimately what happens is the marketers all get a bad name. You know, they tar everybody with the same brush. And, you know, they kind of come out and say, oh, look, I'm not interested. Or somebody puts a comment saying, you know, stay away from these guys. You know, they're just here to take your money and they're not going to deliver. And, you know, then you're trying to like, you're backpedaling constantly. You know, it's like, you know, trying to get the water out of the boat as it's sinking. You know, your pitch is gone before you can even begin. So I kind of thought, like, why don't I join some groups that are a little bit more out of the box, where people are a little bit more open and they're not, you know, ultimately they're not like automatically defensive, you know, when it comes to this type of thing. So yeah, it's just kind of trying to think a little bit more outside of the box.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Congratulations. That's a great idea.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. It looks like we have Patric over here in his new digs joining us.
Yo. Yes. The first, so this is the first Zoom call from our RV, and you know, we had a lot of delays over the last couple of weeks trying to get on the road between, so my wife, we've got like the back half of the RV is remodeled. The front half is not remodeled yet. So remodeling takes longer than we think it does, apparently. So we kind of got stuck a couple times. Then our cat ate an Advil and we had to go to the hospital for a few days with him. He's fine. Then we just rolled into town. We've got our first setup at our campsite here. We are kind of in Southeast Ohio, right near the West Virginia border. So we've got some cool plans over the next few days to hit like Harper's Ferry is supposed to be this really beautiful area in West Virginia. And then we had plans to go to Myrtle Beach, but there's a hurricane that decided to blow through there. I guess it got downgraded, but I don't want to drive through like a tropical storm either. So we're kind of fluid with our plans here, but pretty excited to be on the road and kind of really be like, it feels much more like we're in the nomad lifestyle now that we're out here. And I'm looking out here, I've got like woods and the lakes and forests and all these other people that are kind of grilling out and hanging out and, you know, having a couple drinks. It just looks like a really cool environment that we're in. So pretty excited. That's a win for us. You know, my wife and I, we've been thinking about this for 5 years, and this is our first real campsite that we stopped at. So, and we just pulled in here at like 5 minutes before the call started. So we've got the multiple redundancy, two cell phone plans connected through our roof, which brings Wi-Fi into the RV and powers our, so we've got 2 TVs and, you know, I've got this is like a 27-inch iMac that is right here. So we kind of retrofitted it in, but pretty excited. I'll show you guys more if you're interested at some point, but I don't want to derail the meeting with what you guys came. I'm sure you didn't come here to hear about Patric's RV. So, so let's get into it. Who's Pearse? Good. I know that it must be like, what, 2:30 or something in the morning for you?
Yeah, no, it's not quite. It's nearly 1 a.m. So it's not too bad.
Okay. Okay, cool, man. Well,
yeah, I don't get the opportunity.
Kind
Yeah, if I don't get the opportunity to jump on too often, so just with the time difference. So I thought I was doing a little bit of stuff, and I thought, you know, I'd just pop my head in and say hello. So if I disappear
awesome.
Before the end of the meeting, I'm away to bed.
Yeah. No, it's good, man, because I know that we've gone back and forth a few times, so it's cool to actually have like a face-to-face conversation finally. You know, I know that you've been pretty active in the group, and you know, we've sent messages back and forth. I know that you sent me some suggestions and stuff that I really value. So it's good to finally be able to put a face with it. And from now on, when I read your comments, I'm going to read them in an Irish accent that I didn't that I wasn't anticipating before.
Yeah, I kind of thought nobody would understand me.
Cool.
But,
all right. So who's got?
Seems to be all right.
Yeah, it seems we've got it. You know, it's pretty similar to our English, right? We got, who else we got Jarrett Miller on here. What's up, brother? Calling you out, man. You're muted. I'm sure you're saying something cool.
All right, yeah, I was saying something so impactful it would have changed everybody's lives, but I completely forgot what I just said. So, no, man, it's good, man. I was just Wednesdays have been so crazy, but I had Wednesday this afternoon off, so I just wanted to jump on and tell hello to everybody. You know, been rocking it.
Yeah,
you know,
very cool, man. Have you continued with your jogging?
You know, I've done it 2 or 3 times, and I have worked out 3 times this week in the gym. So I am doing pretty good this week. So we'll see how next week looks. So,
yeah,
you know,
I'll tell you, man, I started out about where you were when I ran a mile about a year ago. And I was able to take a significant amount of time off of it over like 3 or 4 months. So, you know, I didn't really have a plan of where I was going, but I thought it was really cool after, you know, taking several minutes off and like really feeling that physical difference and, you know, just kind of feeling younger again. So I just wanted to share that with you to kind of encourage you to keep going because it's certainly been an awesome change for me.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to do it. I put on more weight when I started doing lead gen. It was crazy.
That's what happens, man. That's what they call the lead gen 20.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yep. The lead gen 20. It's like the college 20. It's the lead gen 20.
That's right, man. You're sitting down. It's like, there's always stuff that you can do. So it's important to step away. Yeah. All right. So have we been through all the wins, Jeff? I know that I was a few minutes late on the call. Is there more people that haven't shared any wins yet with the group? I think this is a super important part every week to do.
A few of them out. We had a few people share. Jarrett shared, I shared, and we kind of did that. If you want to,
I think Tanisha has one, right? I see your hand up.
Oh, there she goes. Okay.
How you doing? You're muted. There we go. Oops. I think I just muted you. Sorry. I was trying to ask you to unmute. There it is.
Hey, cool. I'm Tia. I'm on my partner's laptop.
Okay. Yeah, I thought your name was Tia, and then I saw that, and I was like, well, I'm not going to call her a different name.
No, your hunch was correct. I'm Tia, and actually, I talked to you guys last week about a presentation that I had coming up, and I was gonna suggest 2 for $3,000.
That's
and
right.
So I ended up doing both of the presentations, and I presented them to him at $2,500. And after my research and his research, we determined that the one market is much better than the other market. So he went ahead and purchased the $2,500 upfront for the one, and then $500 per service. And so I pitched him. What he's offering is really relatively a new thing, and it's not really being done in my city yet. it's being done, but it's not really being done in my city. So I think that he doesn't really need backlinks or anything like that. My suggestion was to create location pages for each area of the city that he wants to target. And then I'll put a GMB in each of those locations. And so for each additional location, it's $500. So $2,500.
Is that a one-time setup fee, or how is that going to work?
So that's going to be the one-time setup fee. And then when the leads start coming in, it's going to be kind of a percentage of,
this is something he owns though, right?
No, I own it.
Oh, okay. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. He doesn't have any questions. Like, he's just like, yeah, here, do whatever. And then send me the lead.
So what's your game plan now? You've got location pages to build out. You've got your GMBs to set up. Like, what else? What's your attack plan?
So actually, I'm going to use this actual setup to really define my whole process. And I'm going to go through step by step, like what you need to do for a lead gen. So my first step, like logo, color scheme, and then build the website. Then I asked him to provide all of the addresses for the GMBs. So I'll create the GMBs in each location. And then once they're all up, I'll kind of see how it goes and what I need to kind of focus on then.
Okay. A piece of advice that I would give you is we always ask our clients for the GMBs and the addresses. And most of the time they get us several of them. But then what happens most of the time is we don't get the addresses. Like the people that, so now it's like 2 contacts away. And a lot of times those postcards are going to get thrown away. Obviously, a percentage of the time the postcards we send don't even show up, right? So what I would do if I were in your shoes, and this is something that we've kind of talked about within my company, is like just blanketing the area with more GMBs. So I've never had a problem where I'm like, man, this website's going really good, but the only problem is I have too many GMBs. That's never happened, right? So if you once you take that money, you're on the clock, right? And it's like, everything's cool for the first couple months, no matter what you do, because the expectations aren't there. But the sooner that you get stuff started now, the better shape you'll be in 3 months from now, right? So I would probably, if I were in your shoes, I would be making a Craigslist post and maybe a post on Indeed to try to get additional addresses, right? If it happens that you end up with like more than you need, then you can always just like set up another lead gen in these other places. So just to give you kind of like a framework, I would say if there's like, how many people are in these cities?
500,000.
500,000?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would probably be setting up 4 at least in that city, if not more, right? 4 GMBs.
Yeah.
Depending on the niche. I know that you maybe have a low hanging fruit niche, right?
Yeah, it's a low hanging fruit niche, but he only wants to target specific areas within the city, but it comes out to about 4 areas that he would be wanting to target. Yeah. And he wants to have houses he should have houses in all of these areas that he owns to get the GMBs at. That's kind of part of what the niche is. So he'll have addresses to give to that. It won't be kind of a middleman. Like they'll be his.
Oh, okay,
address.
Great. Yeah. Yeah. So you'll be like first point of contact. Yeah, that's great. You may also consider, I know that you said it's a low hanging fruit. So if it's low hanging fruit, one site having multiple GMBs, but if it's like 20 minutes or half an hour away, then I'm going to I'm going to set up multiple sites, right? And then I'm going to have GMBs like city A might be like 40 minutes from city B, and I'll have like the GMB for city A as like the homepage, and then I'll have like a GMB in city B that points back to the first website, and then I would do the same thing. So I'd have like 4 GMBs for the 2 cities, and I would be trying to like rank site 1 and site 2 in the maps in both areas, right? So I've kind of like, they don't think they're going to the same person. Does that make sense?
He only wants to really target one city though. He doesn't.
Okay.
He's not, yeah, I talked to him about whether, because the direct competition does 2 cities, one is 2 hours away. And so I thought focusing specifically on our city and what it is like, there isn't like kind of outer lengths. It wouldn't work in outer length cities. It works in our city specifically because we have certain things to offer.
It sounds like you've thought through some of this. So
It sounds like you're on the right
page. Yeah. You like, I know that you've been in for a while and you've got a number of reps in there and it shows, but it's good also just to understand, like maybe not for you as much, maybe some other people that are trying to evaluate this, those concepts will apply to other people. So congrats on that. That's awesome. You've got what sounds like it's going to be a really big client moving forward, right? So that's super cool, Tia.
Thank you. And thank you for all your help last week. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad it was useful for you. Okay, cool. Do we have more wins? Who else?
I got some wins.
My man, Devon, what's up, brother?
Hey, yeah, I forgot you were doing the RV thing. I'm like, what has happened over the last couple of months, man? Like,
this is our first stop ever.
No, I got literally had 4 different lead gens get calls today, all new, that all popped up at once, and 2 of them are actually home flippers. So they're looking for ongoing things. So pretty valuable leads. So I got 2 more people on trial earlier today. So
very cool, man. So yeah. All of us that are like, hey, my leads have dropped, where are they going? Apparently Devon's picking them all up, right?
I mean, there's a balance to everything, man. Doors closed, doors open. That's life.
That's right, man. Well, that's cool. That's cool, man. Congrats. So you've got,
thank you.
You said 4 people on trial now?
So now 6 for,
wow.
This is all junk removal. Yeah, I don't care about sharing the niche or anything like that. It's all junk removal. And 2 of these people are home flippers. And one lady does 30 to 40 homes a year. One person does around 80 homes a year. So I don't know why, something motivated me to just tell them when I answered the phone. I wasn't pretending to be a junk removal person. I just told them like, yeah, it's what I do. Like, I generate leads. That's how you found me. And, they're like, oh, cool. And I'm just telling them like, yeah, your info is going to be really helpful for me to get in the door because I'm looking for someone reputable. So it helps me to like have us to work together because at the end, you're getting a better end result that awesome. You're getting someone reputable too. And they're like, right. Both of them were like, yeah, that's great. Do you know someone that does textured walls? So if anyone knows anyone that does textured walls in Spring Hill, Florida, hit me up.
I do not have that answer for you, but maybe somebody else in the group does. That's really cool, man. Congrats, Devon.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Any other wins? We got any other wins to share? No. Okay, cool. All right. So I've got another win that I want to share with you guys. I'm not going to go too much into the details, and I'm not going to share a lot about this, but it's important to have mentors, regardless of whether it's in this group or another group, whatever. And I kind of found myself for the last almost like a year or more, it kind of felt like I was without a mentor. And so I went and I joined a mastermind group. So it's a mastermind group that it's not focused on lead generation. It's something that is more of like entrepreneurial, right? And it's high level. So it is very, very expensive, but I'm in it, and I've got like the next 8 months for the price that I'm in. And I'm excited for it because, it's, you always want to, I always want to put myself where I'm like, I'd love to be the dumbest person in the room as much as possible. Right. So I feel like going into this, there's people in there that are like, hey, I own 150 restaurants, or like, they're people doing millions of dollars a month in their businesses. So I'm excited for the opportunity to rub elbows with these people. And I'm excited for the learning. And then not only that, but to be able to bring it back to you guys. One of the things that they gave us a collection of videos. So the way we do it is there'll be like a meeting. I've got coaches that I can basically call on all the time and jump on the phone with them. I've got a once a month meeting and a quarterly meeting that's done in person, like events. So I think I'm going to benefit a lot from this. I'm excited about it. Jeff went through part of it. I believe he's also kind of saw what I saw with these people. really, really high level. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to like I don't know a lot about it. I'm getting started. And with that, I'm not going to make a recommendation that somebody else joins it at this point. So I'm going to kind of keep it in my back pocket about what it is. But I want you guys to know that on our end, regardless of where you are, we're continuing to level up and we're continuing to try to like get better and improve. And I think this will allow us to kind of be better leaders for you guys. One of the things that this guy said in the first meeting, and this guy is, I think he's about my age. And, you know, I would guess just kind of like on some of the comments, I think he's doing more than $1 million a month. And somebody asked how you stay humble. That's what they asked him. And that was like a really, you know, just like comparing this to some other situations that I've been in, I thought that was a really important question for me where I am at mentally is I want to make sure that I'm following the right leaders, right? So, and this guy had an awesome answer. And I think as you guys start to bring in money, you start to level up, like somebody who's had like a quick rise, like Jarrett Miller, for instance, right? As this money starts to come in, I think it's important. It's human nature for us to compare each other to other people. Okay. So you don't want to be comparing yourself to other internet marketers, right? You want to compare yourself and you're going to kind of develop these thought patterns of who you're going to be comparing yourself to. It's best to try to not compare yourself, but I think that's a hard thing for most people to do. And this guy's response is, I don't compare myself to like internet marketers or these people. I'm comparing myself to like Elon Musk and, you know, who else was he saying? Like Ray Dalio. So these people that are like the leaders of the world. So when you start comparing yourself to those people, you're going to find that you are, you've got a lot of work to do. And I think it's good to kind of build those thought patterns. And like, as we go through this, you can come a long way, and it's great to pat yourself on the back for it. But let's develop those thought patterns that are going to make sure that we kind of stay in this humility as we go from like beginners, and then we start to bring money in, and then we kind of continue down the path. So for me, hearing that from him, I thought that was exciting. And I thought it was something that that should be shared because, you know, not everybody has the same starting line. And as we move through this, some people in here, maybe previously you're making $30,000 a year, and then you go to making $30,000 a month, and you're surrounded by people that are making $30,000 a year. And it would be easy for you to kind of like fall into this mindset where you somehow think you're better than these people or anything. And I'm not saying that that any of you would, but I just think it's a really healthy thing to identify this at the beginning as we start to make this transition and make sure that we're forming healthy habits, because your success with this and your ability to have longevity and not have like things fall apart is going to be dependent on your mindset towards this stuff. And this is the time as you start to grow this business that you start to form these healthy things. So I just kind of wanted to share this with you guys as, you know, something that struck me that I think I started doing it a long time ago, but I didn't really realize that it wasn't a conscious decision. And it's just kind of like always left me thirsty to kind of keep going and, you know, never feeling like you know, the king of something. Right. So I just want to share that with you guys as like a mindset piece that I've been kind of like thinking about over the last week or so. So I think that we had one more person who had a question. Where did it go?
Treen had hand up, and then just really for those of you who don't know about the outline, there's a ton of info in that outline. And so in the Facebook chat was asking about a script to reach out for GMBs, and there's actually an entire script in the outline itself. Very searchable by keyword in that outline. Just look for it in the announcements. I've been trying to post it around. Just want you guys to know that it's out there for your reference, and anything that's said on these calls is outlined there and time-stamped and all of that, so you can get access to the answers to your questions much more quickly, and then we don't have to keep repeating the same thing.
Awesome, Jeff. So, yeah, that's a tremendous resource that I think is going to be really useful for everyone. Jeff, do you have like 60 seconds on your thoughts on what I talked about with the mentoring thing that we're going to be a part of moving forward?
Yeah, I'm on board like 100%. Like I've been through tons of long-time clients before I even started doing lead gen. she's a trainer and coach, and she's gone through multiple different programs, from like Dan Sullivan's strategic coach to Tony Robbins, Marissa Murgatroyd, like multiple of them. And what I do for her on the back end is I actually go through and outline all of the material in all of those programs so that I can whisper all of the nuggets in her ear. Then when she actually goes to the mastermind, she looks like she's been through all the info, which most people can never get through because they have busy lives. These people are executives, they're high level, and it just gives her an edge in the room where she can connect with people at a different level and not go into a meeting and feel like she doesn't know what's going on. Like, she not only knows what's going on, but she's being more, forward how to connect, because she knows who all these people are in the room, right? So I'm very familiar with Mastermind. Jill Polish has a Mastermind where it's $50,000 to get in, $100,000 to get in. And the premise is that you walk in the room and you make a deal that's worth 10 times that amount in, one meeting. So, I mean, these people are playing at a different level, and that's where we want to be. And I think that overall, just continuing to level up and learn as much as you can and get access to rooms of people who are playing at those higher levels, you're going to get out of your comfort zone. You're going to start vibrating at that frequency with the other people in the room. And so you want that to be as high level as you can. So I think it's going to be amazing. I'm really looking forward to seeing where this takes us.
Yeah, awesome, Jeff. Yeah, and just so you guys, some of you guys that are at a different spot, maybe you're just getting started, you don't have your first client, or you don't have your first money coming in. It wasn't long ago that we were in your shoes, okay? And looking back on it, if I said, hey, 5 years from now you're going to be in this situation, I would have a hard time believing it, right? Now I look back on what's kind of unfolded over the last 5 years as we've ramped this up, and it makes sense. Like, the series of events that has led us to this point makes sense. And I don't want you guys to look and think that we're so far away from where you are, even though, like, financially, our current revenue per month may be quite a bit higher than yours, but we all can go through these same steps. You can get there, and it's just like one piece at a time. I think you guys are a lot closer to some of this than you may realize. I know that there was someone a few weeks ago, there's somebody on a call who had like 100 sites built and only like 2 of them are rented. So in my mind, like, they don't really need to make any more sites before they can get to like 50K a month, right? They just need to rank the existing ones if they've chosen the right niches. So getting this stuff in place can get you there. The person who referred me to this group, that this mastermind, they're only at like $10,000 a month, right? So they weren't doing $100,000 a month, and they're involved in it, but they saw the value, and right, it's a big commitment for somebody who's making $10,000 a month. But that being said, like, this person saw it, and you've got to do what you need to do to accelerate this process, right? And that doesn't mean, like, I don't think, I'm not encouraging you guys to go and find some expensive mastermind to join, but what I'm encouraging you to do is, like, position yourself so that wherever you are, that you're surrounding yourself with the right people, that you're learning the right things, that you're doing what you need to do to move forward for yourself, right? And then just keep doing that. That's all that I've done along this way, is like, what are the small steps that I can do today, this week? What are my goals for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year? How do I get there? Let me work backwards and make sure that I'm putting those actions in place. Okay, so Trine, I'm sorry that I delayed. I know that you've been patiently waiting for the call. I'm going to ask you to mute, so you should get a little pop-up. What's up, man? How you doing? I know we've been going back and forth.
It's okay. It's okay, Patrick. Thank you. I had a question about you saying multiple GMBs in the same city for the same niche.
Yeah,
why?
Absolutely. Well, I think it's probably my like RV internet here. Why would you do that? So here's why you would do it. Is like, let's say that you're in a city. Let me draw a map. Let's do this. Let's get a visual in this. I know that I've done this before, but give me 1 second here.
No worries.
And I'm going to go with Los Angeles. So that's a nice big city. I'll share my screen in 1 second. Let me just get this popped up. All right. All right. Jeff, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. All right. Might be loading a little. I don't have this internet completely figured out yet. There we go. All right. So I know we've done this drawing before, but I think it's really valuable. All right. So Trine, so let's say this is Los Angeles. It's a big city and it's going to be really competitive to try to rank something in the city. So if you set up your GMB, that, like, let's say your GMB is in the center of the circle, and that's where you're going to rank the best, right? And then you're going to rank a little bit worse inside this circle here. And whatever you choose, so let's say I choose, like, we'll stick with Devon's niche, right? House flippers, right? And maybe it's like house flipping is my keyword. So it's house flipping LA is what I name my GMB. That is what I'm targeting. And that's probably what's going to rank the best. There's some things that could affect that. Like if there's a ton of competition for that, then maybe you're going to rank better for some other long tailed, but this is basically what you're going to rank the best for, right? Is house flipping LA. So what would happen given those are the rules? Maybe I set one up over here in Compton, right? So now this one, I'm going to name this one like home flipper LA. So now over here, I'm ranking for this term, and over here, I'm ranking for this term. So right away, I'm ranking inside the circle, whereas if I had only chosen to have one GMB inside this niche, my exposure would be limited to this circle here, right? Maybe this small circle. Now, as we do things, as we add backlinks to our site and we get more reviews and we get more citations, like this gets bigger and bigger. And the same is going to happen over here. So at some point, these are going to overlap, right? This area here is where you're going to be ranking for both of these. And this is why it's important to choose different names, right? So if I choose house flipping here and home flipper here, and if I had it in the map, I wouldn't want it to say like the same thing multiple times, right? Because then it's going to look weird and the person's probably not going to click on both of those. So this is the same thing that I was talking about with Tia, who's kind of got this figured out pretty well. She's already gone through all this. But maybe what I would want to do in this situation is like, whatever site I build, I'm going to get as many GMBs for that site. But if it's going to be a competitive niche, I'm going to build out multiple sites. So I'm going to look at the populations of these cities, these like sub-cities around LA. So for instance, like West Covina, right? I would go here and I would just do a search for like West Covina population. I have no idea what this city looks like or anything. 103,000. For me, that justifies a new site if it's going to be something competitive, right? I'm looking for at least 70,000 to justify another site. And then once I do that, so now I've got this like, where did that even go? That's West Covina there, right? So let's say I've got a circle. Oops. 1 second, guys. All right. So I've got this circle here for West Covina. And this is a separate site. So we will make this one be like blue or something, right? So now I'm going to set up this first one, the red one. I'm going to set up GMBs as many as I can all over the city. And then when I've got this one, I'm going to do the same thing. So now I've got multiple sites with multiple GMBs, which like, hey, this is more work, but guess what? It ends up being a lot more money, right? So, you know, this is how we're able to get like $5,000, $10,000 a month from our clients, is that we've just dominated the entire area, and it's hard for people to find a competition. So given that it's one of the hardest things in our business is finding a good client. If we find a good client, then we do this. It's better to like, we found the good client. That's probably the hardest thing. Now let's raise the rent for that good client by building this stuff out. It's better to have like this client paying us more. Like I know there was a post, can't remember what somebody had asked, like, hey, what's the most you got for your lead gen? And for us, we currently have someone at $9,500 a month. And this is what we've done. We've built like, rather than managing like 5 clients at $2,000 a month, we've got one to manage, right? So, and it's somebody that we know, we like, we trust. So I would rather raise the rent on that rather than finding some stranger to like find a bunch of other sites for. Does that make sense, Trine?
Yes, it does. It does. Thank you, Patrick. That's exactly what me and Emmanuel are doing. For Tree Denver, we go around the surrounding cities, Lakewood, Thornton, Arvada, Westminster, and make websites off those and try to get to those locations.
That's right. Yeah. So I would just like, as you're doing that, like I know from having a few sites in tree, like I'm going to choose some of my GMBs to be like tree removal because that's an expensive service. So I'm going to be targeting those like high dollar ones. I don't necessarily want like lawn mowing, right? That's not going to be a very valuable lead, even though those people may do that, right? I'm going to be looking for like tree removal, tree trimming,
Stump removal.
you know, those type of things. So that's how I'm going to choose my GMB names as I move across there, as I'm going to be choosing those kind of like names with the high ticket items.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Cool, man. You're welcome. You're welcome. Am I breaking up when I talk?
No, you're good. You're good.
No? Oh, okay. Okay, cool. It keeps on like slowing down for me on my end. All right, cool. So what other questions do we have? Is there anyone else in the group with some?
Sarah Bailey has her hand raised.
I do.
There you go.
Driving and
Here she is.
Costco. I'll be quick because Costco closes in 12 minutes and I have to run and get something.
Yeah,
But,
gotta get to Costco.
yeah. So, okay. So I was in network marketing for a long time and I eventually got pretty good at recruiting and I did lots of videos. I had a blog and I've done like 200 videos on network marketing. Got good at prospecting and I know I can transfer that over to what we're doing here. My question is about rebranding my blog. So I have sarahdbailey.com and you know what eBay did, you know, eBay, whatever eBay's was. But I'm doing the news review site thing, you know, like the Eugene review thing. And I have a bunch of interviews lined up already. I'll do those articles on my domain name for the news review site. But if I'm going to do like blog posts on what my vision is with small business owners is helping them close more sales through their own prospecting. In addition to lead generation, it would be like a value added thing that I'm doing because the more sales they have, the better I'm going to do too, right? So
Yeah, absolutely.
we all win that way. And in fact, remember last fall, a lot of us did those 3 assessments for personality and strengths finder and you know, that stuff. Well, the one that's called CVI, the core values index, I wanted to reach out to you earlier today and maybe we can get back next week, but I have a meeting tomorrow afternoon with the owner of the core values index program.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm probably going to be one of their coaches because I've done a lot of coaching for home business with sales, closing, prospecting, and building relationships and stuff like that. So I love their assessment more than like any of the other ones I've ever taken as the most accurate. So I would like to combine that with what we're doing with lead generated and building websites, lead gen, stuff like that, and offering the core values, the free assessment for any of these small business owners, because when they know how to recruit the right salespeople for their businesses, like if you look at some of the stats, you can go to the core values. I can, maybe next week I can share a link with like how successful businesses are when they use the core values index for like their CEOs. And sorry, I had 7 years ago I had throat cancer and radiation, and so now they took out salivary glands, so I'm dry all the time. Anyway,
yeah, no problem.
kicked this butt. Yeah, kicked this butt. So cancer is gone. It has not come back. So yay. Anyway, so my question is about branding. Like, the area around here, I'm in Charlotte. The area is called Lake Norman. It's north of Charlotte. Beautiful, big, gigantic lake. And there's the Lake Norman Chamber of Commerce that has 1,000 members. I'm starting to get involved with that. I don't think I'm gonna have any problem getting businesses. I already have some that are lined up. So I'll have my own, it's called Lake Norman. I bought 3 domains to figure out what I wanted, but like LakeNormanBusinessReview.com, something like that. So I'll have that with articles. When I go in Facebook and go in groups, do I go as that name, that business name, or do I go in as Sarah Dickinson Bailey and leave my comments? Or how do I do that? And then do I rebrand SarahDBailey.com and do more articles and prospect. I don't know. I'm still talking. I should stop talking.
Yeah, you've got a lot of different ways that you can attack this, right? And I think you need to start at the end. And what type of business do you want to run? That's the real question, because that's going to determine the strategy that you take to create that business. So for me, what I wanted to create was a lead generation business. I wanted to have passive income, right? I wanted to be able to have stuff on autopilot.
I want that.
You maybe
I do, but you know what? I'm much more of a relationship person. And the idea, like the Eugene review strategy, is completely who I am. Like I moved to Charlotte 2 years ago. I separated from my husband when we moved down. It turned out he was not as nice of a guy as when we first got married. So it's good that we're not together, like to be away from abuse and all that stuff. So I'm starting over, and divorce is probably something I never wanted, but it'll probably go through in the next month or so. So I'm starting over. I'm like, Sarah's being rebranded all around. Like, and I'm excited to connect with small business owners and help them. And I want to be somebody in the community that people can come to and connect with, you know, like to be a connector, like Bob Berg and John David Mann in their books, Go Giver, Sell More, that kind of stuff, about networking and connecting people and being part of the community. So that's what I want to do. And I also want to do, I mean, I love all the tech too. So I like all of it. I don't know. I don't know if it's all defined yet.
Right. I think what's really good is you got a lot of options. You got a lot of passion for helping people. And when you approach whatever it is from like a situation, instead of like, how can I put money in my pocket, of like, how can I make someone else's life better?
Yeah.
If you stick with that, you're going to have a positive result. So
you know what,
like, that being said,
yeah,
go ahead.
With IPAs, I've changed the way I call it. And I call them, and not income producing activities, but impact producing activities, because I know the greater impact I have on the community, the money's going to be fine. I mean, my husband was a 7-figure earner, and I'm okay. Like, I'm okay for a while, like without having income. So I want to do it right. Like, what's important to me is helping people get past their roadblocks and their junk in life, so they can get to the other side to what it is that they want in life, so they don't have regrets when they get to their end. That's important to me, is helping people get lined up with their passions and their gifts and their talents and what they're called to do here on earth, and helping them just get past the junk. And that's why Core Values Index is so good too, because it helps people line up with what they really value the most. So that's
absolutely. You've got kind of like the activity that you want to be doing, or the result of the activity, right? So what I would do if I were in your shoes is I would be like, what do I want my life to look like, right? I think and part of it for you is helping these people, but I would get down to like, what is the business? How many clients do I have? Like create a picture. Like, let's say 2 years from now, if you had to describe exactly where you are to someone that didn't understand this, like if that involves,
wait, you mean
like
in what I'm doing for work, you mean, or like where I'm living and who I'm hanging out with, or what?
All this stuff. Create that whole image. What does your house look like? What is, like, all the different things, which to you it sounds.
I got it. I got it. I have my
So we need to make sure that
avatar. Yeah, I've got that. I've got what I want and what I step outside, what I see. I just have to get through this door before they close it at 8:30. So I can come with that next week. Like, I created something I used to coach on and still do, is like creating your ideal prospect avatar. And what that means, like, and it could be an agency partner. It could be like a small business owner. I know you're closing. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I know what I'm looking for in the ideal client that I have. I also want to help small business owners do that. So, and something I can add to the lead generated group is I took like 20 different creating prospect avatar little things I found online and combined them into one for what we do. So if you want me to post that in the group, I'll do that. I also have.
I would love.
What? Okay.
I would love for you to put together I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I would love for you to put together a video for us that kind of maybe 2 different ones. One that, like, give us a presentation on this CVI, why it matters, what it is, why it's important.
Okay.
And the second one with your prospecting methods, just like 20
Yeah, I did
different
a
prospecting avatar, the
I
avatar
did,
thing.
yeah, so I'll do the avatar one, and then I also took Dan's questions from Eugene Review, and I amped them up, and then put like psychology behind what you ask, why you ask, and there are lots of things that we could talk about, like mirroring, like what it means when you're in person interviewing a business owner and how you mirror them. Like if they talk slow and low, then you do the same thing, and it helps them identify with you, and they don't even know why, but they're starting to like you more. If they lean forward, you lean forward. If they change their stance, you do that. The other thing, so I can share those questions. My whole thing is asking questions that are genuinely curious, and that every question you ask the business owner should be based on their answer from the last question you asked.
Right.
Not your next
continuously
question.
building.
So you don't want to process them.
Right.
Yeah. The other thing I did, we could talk about, I created a course on Facebook prospecting for network marketing, but a lot of it is still applicable to what, I'm not trying to sell my course. I'm not even selling it anymore, but on the strategies that we developed and how to connect with people on Facebook when you go into groups and you start a conversation, how you get to know a business owner without them feel like they're being processed. And
I like it. I like
keep talking. Yeah, because when they did the surgery for the throat cancer, they took out salivary glands, and now I'm getting all dry, and I don't have water.
Yeah, no worries there. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing this stuff. This has been like a lot of different potentially valuable pieces that I think that would be great to be shared with the group. We do have, like, I know that there's some people typing in some questions here, so I want to try to make sure that we stay on focus, and we can give your salivary glands a rest for a minute.
There's some champagne right here. Maybe, do you think they'll mind if I open it?
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we can talk more later. And I just need to put my phone down anyway, so I can zip in and zip out. But I'll.
If you can send me over a couple of those like video presentations, I just want to check them out, and then we can push them into the group. I think that would be really valuable. It's clear that you have some skills that maybe a lot of us haven't been exposed to, that would be really useful for us, right?
Awesome. Okay. I'm happy to help.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Awesome.
I gotta
Enjoy
Costco.
All
right. Thanks.
You're welcome. All right. Cool. All right. Awesome. All right. So let's see. Do we have more questions coming in, Jeff?
Well, we have Grace has her hand up, but quickly, Lou is asking, so if you were going to do 5 tree sites in one area, would you recommend like City 1 tree removal, City 2 tree trimming, City 3 stump grinding, etc.? Like, how would your domain URL structure look if there is one sort of strategy?
I would be careful with building out 5 complete websites in one area. It would need to be an area like, it would have to have a few million people in it for me to justify 5 different sites. Because some of this stuff is going to bleed over.
I thought what you said.
70,000 is kind of like our minimum.
That doesn't the antenna strategy. We're mapping it out.
Yeah. So I'm going to be setting up multiple GMBs, right? And then like there are, like in Raleigh, for instance, we're in a niche and we built out 7 sites, but it was like, there were some big cities that we wanted to target that were not really a part of Raleigh. They were, I think it was like Fayette, and then there's like Durham. And so there ended up being like several cities. And then we had like several sub niches for those cities. So I would just be careful. Like, I'm not saying every city you go into build out 5. I want to make sure that that's clear. You need to be like using your own judgment. If I were, then I would probably be doing it like geographically for the cities and not necessarily like sub niches. So it wouldn't be like tree trimming, tree removal. It would be more like if we're going back to LA, it would be like maybe like Corona, Riverside, like these big cities would get their own sites, and then the GMBs that are attached to that site would have the different names. So that way I'm targeting the GMBs for each of those sites, right? Does that make sense? I don't know who that asking.
Yeah,
Jeff, you might be frozen, or maybe I am.
For Lou.
Are you guys still with me? Okay, cool. I just killed my video for a second. All right. All right, Jeff, any other questions?
Nope, we have Grace with their hand raised. We'll unmute you
Hey, you guys hear me?
Grace, what's up?
if you
Yeah.
can.
Hey,
How you doing?
my Facebook identity is Stevie, so just FYI. My real name is Grace. Stevie is my alias, my online alias. I just wanted to add to what Sarah was saying, even though there was a lot of information there. I just want to validate that she is a prospecting powerhouse, and she has single-handedly moved me from zero results with all the effort I was putting forth with prospecting in one private Facebook message. She moved me from that to I only have 2 lead gen clients booked now. But I just want to validate that everything she's saying, she does know what she's talking about, and she can really help analyze specific problems that you're having. And I'm sure she would graciously give a lot of that away. So that's exciting. Also, secondly,
I didn't pay her. I didn't pay her to say that, I promise.
Oh, good. You're still on, Sarah. That's great.
I'm still here. Yeah.
She helped me. So you helped me so much, Sarah. So, and she didn't, know anything about me. She just sent me a message and gave me just a few little small things. And
Well,
really, it really shifted
you know
what
what
I
it
was
was?
saying.
Yeah. Do you remember what it was? Like, I remember she was talking about being nervous about talking to a prospect. And what was she going to say? I'm like, look, if you're nervous, then that means you're focusing on you and getting the sale instead of focusing on the client. Hold on. Sorry. I got a big case of sparkling water. When you put the spotlight on the client and finding out what their needs are, then you don't get so nervous because you're trying to help
Upside
them. You're
down, Sarah.
alongside them as a mentor. I'm
Sarah,
upside
you're
down.
upside down. Yeah.
Amazing.
There, still.
Costco does that
Yeah.
to all of us.
I'm feeling all blood.
It has that effect on people.
But when you when you focus
Still.
on the client and am I still upside down? Okay, how about that? Is that better?
There we go. Now you're right side up.
Okay, great. I don't have a headache anymore. But when you focus on the client and not yourself, like if you're nervous about the sale and talking to them, it might be because you're thinking too much about you and getting the sale instead of focusing on the client and going after what their challenge is. And if you get them to verbalize what their challenge is, then you're already halfway there because they're telling you what their problem is and you're offering a solution. So
yeah. So I look forward to whatever. Yeah.
If
if you end up sharing more with us, that would be awesome. And just want to encourage people who are early on in the game, like I am, like Patrick, what you were saying is very, very encouraging with just taking it one step at a time. Every time I listen to you, I feel like I can do this. I can actually do this. Like, I believe what you're saying. And like I said, I just booked my second ever lead gen client yesterday or 2 days ago or something. And it was like a 2-hour meeting and a lot of back and forth, but just kind of leaving yourself the freedom of, and the security, like the personal security of like, I don't have to have this person say yes to me, but I genuinely believe what I have is valuable. And I can tell them, like, if this isn't a good fit for you, that's fine. Do you have any people that you would like to recommend to me? Because they will pay a lot for this, and or they should, because it's valuable. So that comes across. And I appreciate, Patrick, the stuff you have said about that just continuing to kind of have that security in yourself comes across in those meetings. And I just wanted to encourage people, like, I don't have much experience and I'm not very far along, but even at this stage, like, I really didn't know that I would be able to get 2 clients at this point. Like, I've been in for about 6 months, but I have 3 tiny kids at home and I don't have a ton of time. So, and I get sidetracked a lot. So, you really can do it. And I actually do believe that what Patrick said just like a few minutes ago is true. Like, there's not a lot different between me and him, shockingly, in that context of JK. And it's a matter of these steps, like, in implementing them. So thank you. Just want to say thank you. I glean a lot from this.
Yeah, absolutely. I certainly appreciate it. I'm glad that it's having an impact on you and others. And I'm somebody that has kind of like these mantras. They're almost like rules inside my head. And there's like quotes that I've heard over time and I've held on to them. And it's like, this is the way it is, right? Like, lot of stuff I'm not sure about, but this I'm going to count on as being a rule. One of those is like the person who says they can and the person who says they can't, they're both usually right. And another one I posted a few months ago, which is like, there's people out there that are like way less qualified than all of you guys to be doing what they're doing, but they're doing it anyways. And they're doing things you want to do just because they decided to do it. And, you know, like when I'm doubting myself, I lean on those, right? When I have those moments, can I turn this platform into a platform with 10,000 users, 50,000 users? Like there's other people out there doing things that I want to do that are less qualified, and they've just made the decision to do it. Right. So that's kind of like how my mindset works with this. And I encourage you guys, it's something that's helped me. So if that resonates with you, I encourage you guys to like, maybe try to adopt some of these rules where it's like it's proven to be true. It's proven to be true for me, right? It's like this act as if, right? And you kind of start to become something, right? So really cool. Thank you for saying that.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, Grace.
You bet.
Cool.
Thanks.
All right. Right. Where are we at, Jeff? Do we have more stuff coming in that I don't see?
We have Janeri has her hand up. So let's see what Janeri has to say. Are you with us?
Janeri, one of my all-time
here.
faves.
Can
What's
you
up?
hear me? You
Yeah,
guys
we can hear you.
me? Okay, good. I'm not camera ready, so
I don't believe it.
I'm not showing my face.
Hiding the bed this time.
That's right. You got busted. You got busted on the bed last time. Now, suspicious no-show.
You clearly didn't just see me, so.
So I listen, I just jumped on. I was like, oh, it's a set. Time flew by crazy today. So I just got on. So I don't know what you guys were talking about. Everything that I heard sounds great. My question is, I need your assistance, is I did a lead gen partnership with a J-Care, old J-Care. And the strategy was to go nationwide. But he hasn't been really in this lead gen business like that. He's been doing other stuff. So we kind of held to one lead gen. The lead gen didn't pay much. It was not the best client. It wasn't my structure, whatnot. Anyways, long story short, he decided to start his own business for the lead gen. And it's junk removal. It's nothing like great. So he bought me out, right? It was a little bit of a challenge, but whatever. So he's buying me out from the lead gen. So instead of paying me cash, he transferred me a roofing lead gen. So which was more valuable in Wisconsin. I don't care for roofing at all. So this is what I thought about it. I said, okay, I can do a few things. I can also that roofing lead gen, he used a virtual mailbox or whatever it is. And he hasn't logged in a long time. And a few months ago, he went and did stuff. He hasn't been up to date with what, Google and stuff like that. He's not in this like we are. And he didn't know this. So now there's a soft suspension to it, basically. And he doesn't have that mailbox anymore. So there's a potential that GMB is probably gonna be gone. It's still live. It doesn't have good ratings. So anyways, we ended up transferring everything, and he gives me a call, and it does have a client to it. It's a friend, but the client doesn't pay that well, whatever it is. So apparently he had a conversation with his friend that paid for that lead gen as a client, and he's interested in buying it from me. I just did the transfer today. So what would I like to hold on to my assets, because if a lead gen doesn't convert, I'll convert it into a PBN or something like that if I have to. Like I would use it one way or another. So I don't like to get rid of it, but I don't like roofing. I haven't done any work to it. It just exchanged to me today, transferred, and now I'm getting somebody to buy it that I feel like I can use the money for better niche down that lead gens that I'm working on. What do you think about that? What's your advice or feedback?
I have a real hard time letting lead gens go myself.
Yeah.
Even for ones that aren't in niches that I love. I just think if you do the math on it, even this, you've got this like wounded duck here, right? That like you can kind of tape up the wing and put a new client with it. And you don't necessarily have to love the niche, right? Like that, the idea for this is to build it out, get it ranking, and then not think about it so much anymore, right? Put it into autopilot. So once you go there, I think it doesn't really matter so much what the niche is, whether you love it or not. Once you find a good client, once you have like leads coming in, that would be like where I would go with it. I would have a really hard time. And I've had people come to ask me to buy my lead gens and I tell them no. And then, you know, we make money for years after we have that conversation off of them rather than just that one payment. There are a few situations, like I think we have like one of my clients' brothers was going to start this like mobile detailing thing in this like small city, and we build it out. But the problem is like the leads aren't worth that much. And then second, because it's a small city, if someone else builds a site, then they're going to get the same lead because people are going to call more than one. So for that one, I'm just like, let's get that one off the books. I'll sell that one. For
Yeah,
this,
and we
for
already
roofing,
have that deal teed up. We have that deal teed up pretty well. And I mean, I think any day we might close that and sell it for, I'm sure, a profit, but to wrestle an asset away from Patric is difficult. And there's ones that I would prefer to just like, you know, get rid of just because they're lower end, they're in very complicated geographical situations, not stuff that he built necessarily, but things that he's gotten in different deals like you're talking about, Janeri.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm because I'm the one out there duking it out, trying to find a client.
Exactly.
Like, why don't we just get rid of this shit? You know, this is a dog. No, we're keeping it.
Yeah.
So it's really difficult for him to say, okay, let's dump it. You know, I mean, that's like, I think this is the only situation where I've actually been able to convince him that this is going to be not worth our time, because it takes a lot of time for me to deal with it, and then for the team to try to position some of this stuff properly and all of that. I'm looking at that kind of the part of the equation, whereas Patric's like, yeah, but for the next 10 years we can make whatever a month. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're both right. So it's got to be a balance. But I think in this situation, roofing, high-end niche, right? High dollar niche. I don't know what the location is, if it's not like some kind of wonky geographical location.
No, it's a good, the population is high. The population is over 200,000.
Something minimal, you know, don't, well, whatever. I mean, what I'm saying is, even if you got $500 a month for it for the next 10 years, that's going to be way more than you could sell it for today.
Yeah.
So in that kind of niche, I would say hang on to it. That would be my recommendation as well.
Yeah. And but I guess what I'm stuck with as well is the pain with the GMB, because roofing is such a red flag one for Google, unless I'm wrong with that. Maybe there's other ways. It's I don't know. It's because of the GMB.
What if you sent out 10 GM? What if you got 10 people off Craigslist to do a GMB, and you paid $500 and only one of them stuck, and you got a minimal amount of leads. Let's say you could sell it for a minimal amount, $500 a month. You know, that's $6K a year indefinitely, you know, for $500, you know, like whatever.
Okay. I see what you're saying. I mean, it has a GMB. It's just potentially going to be suspended.
But yeah, I know. Well, you're saying that it might die.
Yeah.
Janeri, like when I take over a site like that, it broke up when you were talking about how many people were in the city.
I think there's about 200,000.
200,000, yeah. So like I would probably be setting up a couple other GMBs anyways. I would say with that one, there's probably like a 50 to 70% chance that you can bring it back and just like, you know, jump through all the GMB like hoops that they give you. But if I took over a site that had one GMB, I would probably be like, okay, let's get like two more. If there's 200,000 people in it, like, let's get a couple more GMBs in this. And like, regardless of the niche, as long as it's high ticket, if you're successful in a niche, like usually that's going to create more money. Like if you have 200,000 people in the city in roofing and you dominate that map, I would say you're probably going to get $3,000 a month for that, even though it's in roofing. And you don't like it, right? So I'm kind of like, I'm going to be picky with the niches that I start out with.
Yeah.
But if I'm like Jeff, I've bought sites and packs of sites from different people. So sometimes we pick up these ones, and I guess I like on some level, I don't care like if the person that's paying me is a roofer or like whatever he does. I'm just like, okay. But when I'm choosing the niches, then I'm going to be very selective with that choice. But you've got an asset. And I think that generally when these things are bought and sold, I think they're way undervalued, right? You know, like if you were to compare this, let's say that I think it's pretty reasonable to expect that you could get $1,000 a month for this after you put in maybe, 3 to 6 months worth of work. So $1,000 a month, what are you going to sell that for? Like maybe you're going to sell that for like $10,000. I don't know. Like
that's exactly what he offered. He offered $10,000, which is, like I said, it's the same client. He also is going into another niche that I'm actually very interested. So he might become an actual customer. So what I'm thinking actually to make even more money is keep the lead gen. Either he pays me or I find somebody new, and he could become a customer for the other niches that he's going into. So now I make even more money from it.
Right. Yeah. So I like that thought process. I probably would not sell it. And if he offered, I would like, if he's paying, if I'm making $1,000 a month off him and he comes to offer, like, what price am I going to take? So let's move this conversation into what if it was a different investment? What if you had a house that's paying you $1,000 a month profit? Are you going to sell that for $10,000?
Oh,
probably not, right? Like, I understand that, like, there's some like tangible asset attached to it, but from like an investment standpoint, like, I think the lead gens are so undervalued when people sell them, right? So like, if that were me, I don't think I would, like, if it was bringing in $1,000 a month, I'm not selling it for $10,000. I'm selling that thing for $50,000 or something, right? I'm just like, I'm looking at it. I think it's worth way more than that, right? If you were to kind of compare that to other industries, and I think because there's no like, it's just a website, we kind of get this idea that maybe it's not worth as much, but that's just kind of semantics in my mind. I think this stuff is worth way more. And that's why Jeff says, like, I have a hard time letting this stuff go, because I'm thinking about the future value of that money and not just like what it is in the short term, right? And this is why, I've had a lot of opportunities to sell this, and it's like our better performing sites, people are asking to buy those, and I'm saying no, and then we're collecting thousands of dollars a month for them. Like, so that's kind of my 2 cents on it. When I played Monopoly, that game, I never wanted to like sell my properties. I just like try to collect as many as I can. That was my strategy, right? So it's kind of the same mentality here.
Yeah. Same thing. I agree with you. I guess I was maybe I just kept on thinking that roofing is going to be a difficult GMB niche. Like that.
Yeah, it may be, but you're also like, you're a seasoned professional in this. Who's had success, and it's certainly not in a city of 2,000 people or 200,000 people. It's certainly nothing that you can't turn into like a super profitable site for yourself. I have all the confidence for you to crush it in that, even though it's in roofing. It's just like maybe it's 15% harder.
It needs a little work. It's ranking for some good keywords. It comes up in the map pack. So like, I did some work before taking over, the site. So it's not something that I, whatever, it just came to me. One thing, maybe you can help me if you know. So with that GMB, that soft suspension, it makes you verify through the number, but that number is a call rail number. Is there a way to go about that? Because we tried to use his number because he's obviously in Wisconsin. So obviously it said no, it couldn't change it because it couldn't verify that new number. So maybe I have to do citations or something, and then do an edit.
Yeah, so I think sometimes there's a way where they can actually call you on the number, right? I think you can do like a text or a call for the verification.
It doesn't work though.
Okay. Yeah. Let me send me a message. Let me ask. I've got some managers on my team that have dealt with this a lot.
Okay.
And because they've done with it. I don't know the exact answer to it because they've dealt with it, right? So, but I can get back to you on that. So just send me a follow-up message on it and I'll see what solutions we've come up. I'm not sure that we have a good one, but I would tell you right away, like if that were mine, I would be probably making a post on Craigslist today and Indeed and like trying to stack up a bunch of GMBs all over that city.
Yeah, that's happening. That's happening either way because that's a strategy for all the lead gens to do multiple anyways.
Right.
I just have no access to it because he has outdated lead gen strategies. Like he's not current with anything. So like he didn't even know the edits that he made. He went in there, hasn't logged in in God knows how many years, and all of a sudden it got soft suspended. So that's kind of what
Is he able to log into it from his device?
No. Well, I transferred everything. So now it's under my password, my Gmail and everything. But when we first did this to see how we can solve this before he transferred it over, because I had an issue with me being bought out on the junk removal lead gen to this one, because the junk removal one was producing a lot of calls, but it's not a high ticket niche versus this one. And there was no problem with it. Versus this one needs work, even though it's ranked, and it just needs a little work and it'll make a lot more money for me than the junk removal site.
Yeah, that's the way I'd view it too. Is I like no offense to Devon, but I would rather have a roofing versus a junk removal.
Yes.
I think that's I think that's going to be a higher paying niche, right? And you know, it kind of goes back to some of those principles I have where if the business is easier to start, you're usually going to run into like more competition. The leads will be worth less and like less serious business owners. Like roofers have a bad reputation as business owners in this industry. And I know that it's scrutinized by Google, but that being said, we've got a couple of roofing sites that we've built, and one of them I'm kind of amping it up. I'm gonna really try to dominate the whole state of Ohio for roofing.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna like, I guess I'm not gonna go and try to pick a fight with like you know, a bruiser, but if I get thrown in the ring, I'm gonna do my best to try to win that fight, I guess. So that's kind of my mentality on it. I had a client in Ohio, a friend of mine who has a roofing company, and then it's just been like a little chaotic with him. So he wanted to do it. So that was kind of what pulled me into a niche that maybe I wouldn't have gone after. And you've kind of found yourself in the same situation. So you've got something that probably has value, especially if it's like it's aged, right? He's had a GMB set up. There's been traffic to it. So
yeah, if I can just figure out that verification, I'm good to go. Like but again, I'm gonna definitely be working on putting some ads out there anyways to get the GMB. Yeah,
Gary, just make a post in our group and tag me and Jeff in it, and we'll respond. I'll get the answer from my team. Just so you guys know, I don't know that we have a great answer. Okay, I know that we've dealt with it. I don't know if our solution is.
Want to know the
I don't know if we found a solution for it. Say it again, Jeff.
I was just saying there's a couple of other people posting in the chat that they would like to know the answer to that as well.
Yeah. Yes,
So-
I saw that. So that was why, like, I think having Janeri post it in there and tag us so that everybody can see our response would be a good solution.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, thank you for your advice. I appreciate it.
welcome.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Thank you, Mary. We're creeping up on an hour and a half here, Patrick, and I know you've been driving all day.
Yeah. Let's hop off here. I know that we had a little bit rocky start and we were kind of like all over the place. Before we go, you know, there's a couple things I want to share with you guys. So I think we're about to have the user role stuff live for you guys, which is going to be awesome. I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. We've got the context module in there. I wanted to release that one first because it had the potential, because it touches so many different things. It can break a lot of pieces, and we've seen various bugs that we've been checking off one by one, getting through this. So we're almost through that. I think with this, we can start dropping updates a lot faster. The user role one, our campaign builder. So Jeff and I are using a different version of the CRM than the rest of you guys because we test things and play with it. So I was excited to see today, we've got texting and we've got our campaign, the first version of our campaign builder. So kind of way it works is like, hey, you can say like when this happens, so it could be a form or a phone call or both, arrives, then like what's a condition? If it's this company, then like do this, right? So it could be send an email, send a text message, trigger, Zapier. So that's what we have that in place in our own version, and we have the user roles in place, and they're both well, the campaign builder was having some small issues that I think as of today, I think we've kind of like worked through most of those, and the user roles has been working for the last few days. So I know that a lot of you guys have been asking for this like user role, custom user role, right? Being able to say like, hey, I want this user to only be able to see this, but I want this other user to be able to see this, this, and this. So with this update, you'll have the ability to kind of create these user roles, decide what they can see, and then assign it to them. So really excited to get that update out to you guys. We've got the pipeline stuff, the task, all of this stuff was kind of like hinging on getting contacts in there first. So we've had it in our version for 3 or 4 months, but I couldn't put this other stuff because it's related to this. So this is what's coming, and they're going to come a lot quicker now. Like we had to do so much to get the contacts in there. So I'm really excited with where this platform is going for you guys. I think you guys over the next, like month or so, you guys are going to see more changes in this platform than you've seen the entire time that you've used it, like in the last 6-7 months. We're also getting really close with our mobile applications now too. So I actually had our team, I wanted to have it launched, but I've had our team kind of go back and rework it. There was a lot of stuff that I didn't like how it was working. So we've kind of gone through and just completely revamped some of these screens to make it easier, because I could just see the support nightmare that it was going to create. So wanted to share that with you guys. We've been working really hard on this stuff. I think you guys are going to love this. I'm super excited to have it in my own business. So whenever that happens, it seems like the response from everyone is phenomenal. So really big stuff coming here. So all right, like I said, we are in our first campsite ever in our new house on wheels. So we haven't had dinner. We've been driving a while, moving, doing all this stuff, fixing things before we took off. So I'm going to enjoy this a little bit now. We've been on for almost an hour and a half. So you guys, let's do what we need to do over the next 7 days to create some wins, right? Ask yourself what action you need to take, right? So you have a couple more days before the weekend. For somebody that's not going to work on the weekend, what can you do before like Friday at 5 p.m. or whenever you sign off to create these wins for the next week so that you can be moving forward, right? You have to be the person that takes these actions. I always want to leave you with that thought. So let's create this. You can see what Devon did. Devon has like 6 people on trial in the last week. Phenomenal result, right? So who's going to be the person next week to share some big wins? Make it happen. All right, guys, have a great week, and we'll see you guys in the group. Thanks a lot.
Take care.
Bye.